Hello everybody, this is something new. Yes, I am recording my voice over this speed paint of Megurine Luka watercolor that I did. Well, it's been a while now, but anyways, I wanted to tell the story of how I went to the hospital twice within 1 week over nosebleeds. So I mentioned it in my last video, but I wanted to tell the whole story here. Trigger warning, I will be talking about blood, obviously, and how everything went with, like, in the hospital and everything. So buckle up. Let's start with I was at a retreat with my in-laws. It wasn't the best place. The bed was super uncomfortable and I had a hard time sleeping. So, because like my back was hurting. So I took every night that we were there. So it was 3 nights back to back. I took some muscle pain medicine that was like allowed by my doctor because I have high blood pressure. So that one, she said, oh, this is okay to take if you have like muscle pain, but that specific med is also a blood thinner. Fast forward, the day we come back from the retreat, I get up in the morning, everything is fine and dandy, and out of nowhere I start bleeding from my nose. It starts slow, but it's a steady flow and I can't stop it no matter what I try. So we end up going to the hospital because I'm starting to get panicky at that point. That first hospital was like not the best place. Took a while for them to actually do something about the situation. By the point that I saw a doctor, I was already very weak. They tried to hook some IV on me and they couldn't because, quote unquote, your veins are fleeing. I'm like, yeah, no, you're just bad at it. So they bruised me a lot, but they installed a balloon up my nose to try and put pressure where the bleeding was coming from. And they told me, okay, now you have to come back to see an ORL next week. Usually when you get that type of balloon up your nose, it's supposed to be taken off like 2, maybe 3 days later. But since there was a holiday and it was over the weekend, I had that thing up my nose for 4 days. Then, when I got to the ORL 4 days later, that guy ripped that off my nose. So it's like, okay, the pain when they installed it was excruciating. And they couldn't give me pain medicine because, again, they couldn't hook any IV on me. So I had some pain medicine afterwards, but when he took it out my nose, it was also very painful. I cried, painful. And then he said, oh, that didn't do the job. It is still dripping. Not that much, but it's still dripping. So he shoved something up my nose that was supposed to help the bleed stopping so that it could heal, like some sort of self-dissolving patch. And he said, okay, go home, stay in the cool, because obviously we were still in like very hot temperatures. So yeah, he said, stay cool, don't overdo it, you'll be fine. I'll see you in a week to see like if we need to cauterize anything. Not even 8 hours later, I am at home. I am with a bunch of friends on voice chat, and we're playing a little game, and the nosebleed starts. And it comes back with a vengeance. And I am quickly panicking because now it's like, oh, no, not this again. I asked my boyfriend to call an ambulance because this is not good. And when the EMTs got there, I was already very, very weak. It was nightmarish because I was starting to believe that this is it. This is how I die. I'm sorry. I was literally thinking that, like, this is so stupid, dying of a nosebleed, but here we are. Anyways, the EMT during our, like, they told me, oh, we're going to another hospital because that one has space. I'm like, yeah, the first one that's available, I don't give a damn. Just like, I want this to be over. So during the drive, the one EMT that was with me in the back of the ambulance was applying pressure to my face in a way that's like, it hurts like a bitch, whilst I am guzzling my own blood. Yes, you heard me right. It couldn't get out my nose. It went straight to my stomach. At first, I was expelling it, but eventually my stomach got used to it, so it stayed there, and there was a lot. By the time we get to the hospital, I am extremely woozy, but I cannot pass out apparently. That's another thing I have to check out for. Maybe I have POTS, but that's another story. The second EMT applies pressures to my face again so that the other one can take a break. And after that, like, it's like a bit off and on, like, I am so, it was like such a weird experience because everything hurt, and I'm like, I can only concentrate on what's happening right now in my body, so I am not very aware of what's happening outside. My poor boyfriend had to witness all that. It took them a while to be able to stop the bleeding enough to put another freaking balloon up my nose. But this time, they gave me something to ease the pain quick enough. They were able to hook an IV on me because I was dehydrated as hell. And they were also getting ready for a potential blood transfusion because I was getting very close to needing that. Eventually I was able to calm down, and the people at that second hospital were tremendously helpful. That was a way better experience, but also it was traumatizing. Not the hospital, but what was happening to me, because I was like, I have to tell my fiance, here's my password in case I don't make it. I got to that point, but eventually I was able to not sleep per se, but they kept me for observation for the whole night, and then the next morning I was able to take some food around midday, and then eventually they released me, they gave me some pain medicine again and other stuff, and then I only existed for a whole week, not doing anything but sleep and eat and take showers and sleep and so on. It was not a good experience, but I felt like telling this story because I think this is something people ought to know that can happen. Like, nosebleed that start from the back of your nose are a nightmare. And it has now been 2 weeks. My nose is pretty much healed, but I have still like bone bruising on my face because of the pressure the EMTs applied on my face, and that hurts. Now, the second oral that I saw that removed the second balloon was so much sweeter. That went way better. It did hurt, but it wasn't as painful as the first experience. And yeah, that was the whole thing. And we stayed at my parents' for a few days afterwards so that I could take it easy and my fiance could take it easy as well, because he's been going at it for a whole week taking care of me. So there you have it, the whole story behind why I was so inactive online for the past month almost. So post-con, then the shady retreat, and then the whole nosebleed experience. But I am back now, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day.